Halo, witam, ja jestem Marcisław, wy jesteście to jest Broken Sword. Byliśmy ostatnio w sklepie dla klaunów, albo z klaunami, jak zwał, tak zwał. I dostaliśmy bzyczek elektryczek, ale też parę informacji na temat naszego mordercy. A, tak. Jedną ważną informację, że jest najprawdopodobniej teraz w przebraniu Szejmusa Wróżka. Mam takie dziwne wrażenie, że to ma oznaczać leprekona. Głupio napisane. Wracamy w takim razie do Niko.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
O, hello. Daj rąchę.
The guy at the novelty shop gave me this.
What is it?
A hand buzzer. You put it in your hand and give people electric shocks.
What?
Cool, co nie?
It's a gag. A practical joke.
If you ever use it on me, I'll break your arm.
Okay. I get the picture.
Wow, nie trzeba być takim bucem. Nie mamy tematu? Dobra, możemy co najwyżej...
I found this tissue down the sewer.
Nie możemy o tym pogadać?
Disgusting, George.
No. I think the stuff on it is grease paint.
It's still disgusting. Get rid of it.
I showed you the red nose, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Why don't you put it on, George?
No way am I wearing this. I'd look really stupid. Besides, you might have had a cold. How come you enlarged this?
Because I noticed the guy behind you, of course.
Czekaj
I have to
chwila.
go.
Okay, I'll see.
Czy to czasem nie jest zły save? Nie no, to musi być dobry save. Mam wszystko zapisane. Znowu kliknąłem... Nie no, to musi być ten save, bo mamy wyszarzałe wejście do sklepu. No to może coś w cyrkule się dowiemy.
It was just some police paperwork, a search warrant. Sergeant Moo?
Ah, Monsieur Stobart, n'est-ce pas?
That's correct. You remember me.
The retention of such data is part of my duty as a gendarme. That is how crime is fought, through attention to detail, not intuition.
Yes, sure. Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
No.
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur. It's Stobart, monsieur. He insists on talking to you again.
Did he say what it was about?
No, monsieur.
Very well.
Hi, Inspector. Remember me?
But of course, Doctor, my mind is a well-ordered faculty. A mental classification system that's the envy of the Bibliothèque Nationale. No tricks, mark you, monsieur. Just exercise. Just as our muscles waste through inactivity, so our minds decay. But there is no need. If only people would learn to exercise their wits daily.
If he was trying to impress me, it worked. He was pompous and patronizing, but he had style.
Eh bien, if you called about the bombing, you're too late. Investigations have been closed.
But
Have been taken off the case.
what about the murderer, the dead guy?
It is out of my hands.
Czyli nie chce pan się dowiedzieć o nowych śladach, co nie? To ja pójdę.
Don't you want to know what I found out about the killer?
I told you, monsieur, the case is closed. I have washed my hands of the whole affair.
Then I'll have to continue my investigations without your help.
No, you must forget the business of the clown completely. Go back to being an ordinary tourist, Stobart.
Did you find out the ID of the guy who was killed in the explosion?
I already knew who he was.
I heard that the bomb victim's name was Plantow.
Your sources are reliable.
He was a big shot at the Treasury, wasn't he? Maybe that's why you've been taken off the case.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I cannot comment.
Dobrze, to nie będziemy w takim razie przeszkadzać i idziemy zająć się czym
So
innym.
long, Inspector.
A może pana konstabla troszeczkę poszturam?
I was one of the last people to see the victim alive, Sergeant.
Does that worry you?
Yes, it does. I feel I owe it to him to find his killer.
That is best left to the authorities, monsieur. Did he speak to you? Tell you anything?
No, he just grinned and nodded.
Don't let it trouble you, monsieur. Go home and try to forget.
I know the identity of the dead guy. His name was Plantow.
Is that so? You knew him, did you?
No, but
We'll know everything there is to know about him soon enough.
I'm trying to be helpful here.
The best way you can help us is to go home, monsieur.
Do you know a man named Khan? He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his right cheek.
No, monsieur. Has this man any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes. I believe Khan was the name he used when he hired the clown costume.
No i nic więcej nam nie powie.
See you
Dobra,
later,
to,
Sergeant.
to my stąd idziemy. Zadzwońmy jeszcze raz do... Czym on się zajmował? To jest krawiec, ale
Hello? Who is this? Mr. Todrick? Oh, it's you again. What now?
The man I'm looking for is called Khan. He bought a suit from you, remember?
Mr. Khan. Yes, I remember him. Yes, I delivered the suit to his hotel. The Hotel UBU. I don't remember the room number. It was upstairs. The second room on the right-hand side of the corridor.
Thanks, Todrick. That's all I wanted to know. Now I've got you, Mr. Clown.
wow. Normalnie nie chce gadać, ale teraz powiedział wszystko. Może nam by jeszcze powiedział jego numer buta. I kiedy nikogo w domu nie ma. Albo jeszcze lepiej. Numer karty i 3 szalone cyferki z tyłu. To jest hotel UBU.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
Czy to na cześć pierwszego właściciela? Hambubu?
Have you seen a guy dressed as a clown?
No, I ain't. Don't tell me I missed him. Oh, that's too bad. I love the clowns, don't you?
I've seen daytime television that was funnier.
I love it when the little guys get hurt.
That figures.
Custard pies, hose pipe down the pants, then smack! A plank in the kisser.
You ever meet a guy called Plantow?
No, I ain't.
You missed your chance. If you're quick, you'll catch him at the coroner's. Do you happen to know a guy named Khan?
That ain't nobody I know.
A ze zdjęcia?
Do you recognize the guy in this photograph?
Is this a trick question?
No. I simply asked if you recognized him.
Okay then. No, I don't.
Może nie na jego zmianie. Kto to w ogóle jest? On się zajmuje autem, jak przyjedziesz, czy drzwi otwiera, czy daje ci w ryj? Pewnie to trzecie.
See you later.
Not if you see me first.
Cokolwiek to znaczy.
Excuse me.
Yes?
I'm looking for a clown.
Are you trying to be funny?
No, I really am looking for a clown.
There are no clowns here except you.
Have you heard of a guy called Plantar?
No, that name means nothing to me.
Do you know a man by the name of Khan?
No, I don't.
It's very important I get to see him, and
I told you. I don't know it.
Jestem bardzo skonfundowany patrząc na gościa. Z jednej strony to może być jakiś taki śliski typ, z drugiej strony twórcy mogli myśleć, że tak wygląda każdy Włoch.
Do you recognize the guy in this photograph?
No, I never saw it.
Will you shake my hand?
Are you joking? Who knows where it has been?
Dobra, może tego gościa
Excuse
spróbuję
me?
Yeah?
porazić prądem.
Shake my hand?
Nah,
Oh, rats. See you later.
not if you see me.
Tam jest zaułek, albo po prostu wyjście z lokacji. Raczej wyjście z lokacji, nie widzę innego. Kogo mamy tutaj?
Hi there, ma'am.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for a man.
You disappoint me, my dear. For one foolish moment I thought... But never mind. Aren't you going to tell me your name?
George. George Stobart, ma'am.
How sweet! I once had a stable boy called George. I am Lady Piermont. The common reaction is to kneel and stutter, but it's not obligatory.
A real lady? I mean, you're an honest-to-God aristocrat?
Oh, I don't know about that. Few of my ancestors are honest, not even to God. I can trace my family back to the Normans, but don't let that intimidate you, George. Beneath that impressive pedigree, I'm just flesh and blood. The blood may be blue, but the flesh is the plump beef of old England, so to speak. You appear distracted, George. Is there any way I can help you?
Tak, zdjęcie.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
My God, it's him! That's Merlin!
She represented everything I loved about the English. The lady was totally deranged. Merlin? You mean King Arthur's wizard?
Good heavens, no! Monsieur Merlin is a fellow guest.
Nie jest tak, że to imię jest jakoś super rzadkie, co nie? W sensie, że jest w użytku.
Did you know there's a gangster out front?
What makes you think he's a gangster?
The Italian suit and the bulge in his pocket?
I know plenty of men with Italian suits and
Maybe
bulges
he's
in
just
their
happy to
pockets.
see you.
That doesn't necessarily make them gangsters.
The man you know as Merlin is a fake.
What do you mean, sweetie?
He's a murderer. He also uses the name Khan.
I am shocked, Mr. Stobart. Shaken. I took him to be a gentleman, a man of honour. Do you know, I'd rather like to assist you in stitching him up.
When did you last see Merlin?
It was no more than an hour ago. He came downstairs and spoke to that clerk chappie. Something passed hands. I couldn't see what exactly.
A briefcase?
No, smaller than that. A bundle of papers, perhaps. The clerk put it in the hotel safe and Merlin went out.
Are you sure you saw Merlin putting documents in the safe?
Yes, darling, positive.
I wonder what they were.
Obviously something of great importance.
Yeah. I'd sure like to get my hands on whatever it is. I'll bet they had something to do with Plantow's briefcase. Has Merlin returned to the hotel?
No, he hasn't. Are you going to search his room?
If I could get in there, I would. Are you here in Paris on vacation?
No, darling, I'm on holiday. I needed to get away after Algy's funeral.
I didn't realize you were mourning the loss of a loved one.
I'm not. He was my husband.
Humor tej gry jest dziwny. Nie jest zły, ale bardzo specyficzny.
I'm sorry to hear about your husband's death.
You wouldn't be if you knew him, my dear. It gave me the opportunity to take a well-deserved holiday. Daphne suggested a change of scenery. Paris, she said. A wild romance is just what you need to take your mind off the inquest. Well, the closest I came to romance was being wooed by a drunken Breton chef. I must say I was disappointed with his coq au vin. Not at all what I was expecting. I was thinking of cutting my holiday short, packing my bags and heading back to Hemel Hempstead. That was until last night.
What happened to you last night?
I was stricken, Mr. Stobart. Cupid's arrow has cleft my bosom.
They couldn't really miss.
It was just as I'd always imagined it should be. The intimacy of candlelight, romantic music tinkling across the room, and then a stranger's glance. Those brooding eyes, that suave manner, those tight trousers.
He was the man I'd been waiting for all my life.
I'm glad he finally turned up after all these years.
Ah, but it wasn't to be. He was merely toying with my affections. And if I ever catch up with him, he's dead.
Who was the guy who led you on?
His name is Merlin.
Trzeba było zacząć od tego. Ktoś tu jeszcze siedzi.
Excuse me, didn't I see your picture in the news?
A
You're
racja.
that Nobel Prize winner from some unpronounceable Eastern European state.
Yes,
O nie.
that is me, in person.
I don't want to worry you, but have you had any threats on your life? You know, mysterious phone calls, letters made up of headlines cut from the newspaper.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you know a guy called Plantow?
I don't know anybody in Paris.
Oh, well, this guy's dead anyhow.
Why do you ask me about dead men? I have seen enough of death to last me a lifetime.
I'm, sure you have.
Dlaczego niektóre postaci mają mimikę twarzy, a inne nie? Protak też, tylko w niektórych miejscach ma animację w trakcie rozmów. I to tak w dziwny sposób. Rozmowy, chociażby tam z Niko w domu, nie są kłapowane. Ale z konstablem, jak gadaliśmy, to już jo. Nie wiem, zależało od odległości, czy coś? Od kierunku, w którym stoimy?
Have you seen a clown?
I beg your pardon?
The clown. A guy in funny pants. Have you seen him?
My pants are from England, Marks and Spencer. They are a pleasure
Nie
and
znam.
a comfort to wear, with much support.
I'm real glad to hear that. You know, it's good to know you Nobel Prize winners are human too.
In my country, the people make do with string and egg cartoons.
For pants?
For everything. Oppression is the mother of ingenuity.
Nie wiem, czy chce mi się z nim gadać.
Do you recognize this man? He calls himself Khan.
Yes, I know this man. Why do you carry his photograph?
I'm a private
Kill him.
detective. What's your interest in Khan?
He is an enemy of my people.
You know he's a killer.
Of course, amongst other things.
Would you help me investigate Khan?
That is not possible. My instructions are to observe. I cannot jeopardize my position as an honored guest of this country's government.
Thanks
Dobra.
for your help.
Goodbye.
O, jest ten gość.
I want some information.
Who are you? The police?
I'm conducting a private
The
investigation.
policeman?
Ah, I know only too well what you mean. That is one of the drawbacks of the catering business. When people book into an hotel, they leave their morals at home, no?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Yes, monsieur. That man is one of our guests.
What name?
I cannot tell you that.
It's Merlin, isn't it? Alias Khan, the clown.
I told you, I cannot tell you that.
I'm looking for a man who dresses like a clown.
This is a highly respectable hotel, monsieur. There are no clowns here.
If you say so. Do you know a man named Plantar?
No, monsieur.
Do you have a guest by the name of Khan?
No, monsieur. Perhaps you would care to check the register.
Mogę? Chyba nie za bardzo wolno takie, że... A dobra, to są stare czasy.
I'd like to retrieve something from your safe.
Ah, oui, monsieur. May I see some form of identification?
Like what?
A driving license, perhaps?
I don't drive.
Your passport?
I don't have it with me. I could show you my operation scar.
Dlaczego
I'm
nie?
sorry, monsieur. I must have some form of unique ID.
You won't find a more unique ID than my scar.
I'm sorry. I must insist on a more traditional identification.
Rats. The man who calls himself Khan has a scar on his right cheek.
Vraiment? I tell you, I do not know a man named Khan.
Maybe not, but I'd noticed a change in his expression when I mentioned the scar. Do you recognize this red nose?
No, monsieur.
Hey, shake my hand.
I'd rather not, monsieur. I'm still sore from the shock administered by one of the guests. He was secretly concealing an electrical device in the palm of his hand. Practical jokes are so puerile, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Jak to wraca?
It was the register of guests staying at the hotel. There was no one registered under the name of Khan, but the name in the book for room 22 was Merlin.
22. Tyle, że ich chyba nie otworzę bez klucza.
The sign on the door read 21.
Czyli tu jest 22.
If the tailor's description was correct, this was the killer's room. The sign on the door read 22. The door was locked.
W takim razie trzeba jakoś zdobyć klucz.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
Trzeba kogoś zabić.
Did I show you this photograph?
Yes, darling.
Can you think of any use for this tool, ma'am?
I can think of someone I'd like to use it on.
But he's dead. Okay, trzeba jeszcze raz pogadać. To jest telefon nieużywalny. Mogę zabrać klucz?
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
What?
You are trying to steal that key, no?
No way.
What now, monsieur?
Klucz.
About the key hanging on the hook over there.
Oui, monsieur.
Which room is it for?
Number 21.
Is that room taken?
No. The guests checked out this morning.
I believe Khan, the man with the scar, is also known as Merlin, the man who has taken room 22.
What of it? What do you want?
Access to his room.
Do you have a license, monsieur?
Huh?
A private investigator's license?
Well, not exactly, but I can explain everything.
I am sorry, but without credentials, I cannot help.
I'd like to check into room 21.
That is not possible.
How come?
It is reserved for another guest.
Rats.
No, monsieur. Dutch.
Straszne.
I insist you give me the key to Merlin's room.
I cannot do that, monsieur.
This guy Merlin is a menace.
So you say, monsieur.
He's not only a danger to society, but to your guests as well. He has toyed with the affections of Lady Piermont.
Ciel! Are there no depths to which he will not sink?
Precisely. He's already killed once, twice, maybe as many as 3 times. With your help, I just might be able to stop him.
But what if he finds out I have helped you? No, I cannot do it.
Może chcesz ten smar do mordy?
What do you make of this tissue?
Do you wish me to dispose of it for you, monsieur?
Hey, no! It could be useful. I'm holding on to this.
As you wish, monsieur. Perhaps you would like a little plastic baggie to keep it in?
Nah, it's fine the way it is.
Ja bym wziął. Do czego to może nam posłużyć? Co najwyżej, żeby coś naoliwić, bo to jest... Jak to się nazywało? No, smarowidło do mordy. Sceniczne. Dobrze, czas uaktywnić naszego tajnego agenta.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
Would you distract the clerk while I borrow a key?
Are you asking me to aid you in a criminal act, darling?
Oh no! It's the key to an empty room.
And why, may I ask, do you wish to gain access to an empty room? Do you plan to squat?
No, ma'am.
I'm very sleepy,
I was
milady.
never in the Boy Scouts, ma'am.
Oh, you should have been. What were your parents thinking of? It's a fine way for a boy to get licked into shape. Now tell me, why do you want to get into that room?
It's next to the room the killer is using.
Ah, so you plan to eavesdrop on Merlin?
I was hoping there might be a connecting door.
Well, how can I refuse? I shouldn't think my feminine charms would be much use in this case, but a good dose of English arrogance might do the trick. I say! You there? Flunky!
Oui, madame.
Listen carefully. You do understand English, don't you?
But of course, madame.
Good. I wish to deposit some jewellery for safekeeping.
I understand.
Are you quite certain?
Oh, bien sûr, madame.
Over to you, my dear.
No to wygląda, że twarze są animowane tylko w niektórych tylko w niektórych konfiguracjach. Ciekawe. Dobra, do pokoju 201 wejdziemy w kolejnym odcinku. Ten jest taki Mam nadzieję, że wam się podobało. Zostawcie lajka, jeżeli tak, do zobaczenia na włamańsku. Kolejnym razem. Z Bogiem.